Hello everybody, this is Matthew Kenslow, and I just got back from a hike that was about an hour and a half, give or take. And as the title conveys, I was about jogging, or more like running, for my life and such. Of course, I have autism. You could read about it in my award-winning book, Juggling the Issues Living with Asperger Syndrome. I bring that up because my mind tends to over-dramatize, but I know I'm not too far from the truth. Already I was having the most worst walk in my life, and it kind of started almost immediate. And it's neat how in the beginning and at the end of the hike there's a connection there. So please allow me to explain. I was walking just around the neighborhood, just basic leisurely walk and such, and I hear laughter in the background, so I turn around and there's this bicyclist, and the bicyclist just stared at me for like about 2 or 3 seconds. It looked like I estimate middle school, early high school age, and then finally he turned away, and then he started to laugh, but then his father I assume the father was right behind him. So I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt. Maybe the father was trying to be funny, and this was already starting beforehand. Maybe he wasn't laughing at me. And I'm that type of person. I like to give the benefit of the doubt. So I'm walking around the neighborhood, and I'm just having like the worst. A lot of hikes are like this, but not like this. There's a lot of people that just seem. I just felt this discerned in my spirit, like this contention or hatred in the atmosphere. So I'll briefly skip to the end. And in the end, I was walking around another neighborhood, and I saw a sign that says #BeKind, and I think it had a heart. And I've been seeing a lot of that, from chalk drawings to posters to other things in like on the window and in the car and in the front lawn. And I thought that was very neat, and I've been starting to take pictures of that because I for one am spreading kindness and trying my best to spread kindness all across my community and social media and such. And I always love it when I see other people being kind too, or putting out their posters, or whatever you call it, you stick in the lawn. But you're not going to believe this. Well, I mean, I have a whole chapter on honesty, so I wouldn't lie, but right next door to the Be Kind poster were those two people again, like just about an hour later, or an hour and a half later, and they're just standing outside. And as I was passing them, I did notice that one was like looked at me. I'm like, could it possibly be the same one? And I kept on, walking. And as I passed them, I continued walking, and I was just, walking around. I hear, a lot of laughter, and I turn around, and, it's still a haze, but they were, like staring at me. And so I just like, okay, what are the chances? This is probably, hopefully, a coincidence. So I turn around, I walk some more, and I still hear laughter. And so I walk a few more steps, and I turn around, and they're watching me. They've just been laughing, and I have no idea why. So what happened right after I looked back for like the third time, after I kept on hearing laughter among them, like they were laughing, they looked at me, and then they looked down, and then they, all that business and such, and I just booked it and such. And just like I said in my book, when this similar thing happened at Heller Park in 2014, June 2014. That's why I opened chapter 17 with. And those two teenagers just started laughing silently amongst themselves as soon as I passed by them, right after they'd been staring me down. And I looked back after I passed them, a distance away, and they were still staring at me. I mentioned that in here. I kept on going down Westminster. I kept on looking over my shoulder, and well, guess what? I was, jogging. I was like, boy, this is the longest street. I didn't know how long it was because I was trying to look. I mean, if they were behind me, okay, there's the alley, but of course I'd be seen in the alley. And, I literally, started to have those fearful feelings right there. And, it wasn't funny. It wasn't pleasurable to experience that. But I had no idea. I mean, from that, block all the way back to my apartment where I am now, I was like nonstop, just pacing and such, just trying to get here as fast as I can. I kept looking over my shoulder. I even ducked at one point. when, this loud bicycle with the motor on it was, following my direction, but I guess it wasn't one of them. And I'm like, what is the problem of having autism? I mean, we didn't ask for this. So what we got to do is we got to learn to get around it, realize that we do have a purpose. But even then, I realized that, and I even, am communicating so hard with, my book and my YouTube videos, which hardly get any views and such. Anyway, I'm just trying so hard to, get my encouragement out there. I actually lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, but everything's just still it's like it just happened, and I'm just still trying to catch my breath. And this is what I've been trying to say for several years. I say it in my book, especially chapter 17. I talk about it in various YouTube videos. This is how we're viewed. This is how we autistics are viewed. And I've been telling a lot in my YouTube videos and in here and elsewhere on social media, is that this is our life, that there's a lot of people out there that just wish that we didn't exist, who wish that we weren't in our neighborhood, who wish that we weren't in their state, maybe even their country and such. They're like everywhere and such. And in my hike, I'm like, come on, this isn't 2017, and for sure this isn't 2014. Two of the worst years of my life when it comes to this. I'm just about to make I've been planning on making a video 2 days from now on March 22nd about something that happened to me on March 22nd, 2014, so I could finally get it out. And now this happens. I just made another YouTube video the other day about what happened in 2015, like finally getting something out about being bullied and discriminated for having autism, for looking the way. I can't help the way I look. And on the contrary, I'm not trying to, hide from society. I'm trying to help society. That's why I'm putting myself out there. That's why I'm trying, like walking around the neighborhood. I love walking. It brings back a lot of memories when I was a child and such. So I talk about it here and in other YouTube videos. And I love walking. But another reason why is so maybe I could help someone. If someone needs help or an answer to a math or science question or a pioneering question like rope craft or compass or something, maybe they're in Boy Scouts, maybe they are in Royal Rangers, or suppose they're working on a project. I want to help the best I can. And a lot of people, even people in the news media and radio and such, don't want me to help because I've been trying to put myself out there. For instance, Cave Wave was supposed to get back with me sometime, and today was like the last day, according to them. That's just one radio station. But in the meantime, I'm not going to stop. I know that I will get out there and be a help to millions and billions of people. But in the meantime, I'm not going to stop, and I'm going to continue to do whatever I can. I walk around the neighborhood. I post constantly on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and such to be a help. And still, I'm walking around the neighborhood, and a lot of people just despise me and literally first sight. As I said before, I've been laughed at, people ran away, people stare. And yeah, I do, take a lot of encouragement from other people that they go on my YouTube videos like this one, and they compliment me on just who I am and just don't give up and such. I believe that. I have a whole YouTube video proving that I believe that, and they don't go unnoticed. And I say thank you so tremendously much for the support. But still, my autistic mind cannot stop from making my entire body just feel, just exactly how these people outside want me to feel, if that makes sense. Basically, a lot of people out there in the neighborhood and elsewhere, they just treat me like this, and they did a good job at making me feel bad, I guess. But then I remember, all the camaraderie that I do have with, my friends, my family, and people on YouTube. So I'm very appreciative if you made it this far in this video. But just know that this probably means more to me than you might realize. Getting this out and speaking it out is more therapeutic to me, more cathartic to me than you would probably ever notice. That's why I have to talk this out. And I say this constantly in my YouTube videos. We have to talk things out in order to get more closure. The maximum closure is to have those two guys, that father and son deal, to come and apologize. And I would, if I did anything wrong, I would apologize to them too. I mean, I know I didn't do anything wrong. If they thought I did, I don't know what to say. I mean, I try to give the benefit of the doubt. So again, thank you. Sorry for not having a cheerful video like I usually try to have most of the time. But honestly, if this is you, don't let this bother you. Don't let this stop you or slow you down. And if you're like me and a strong Christian, just pray for them. Pray for these two people like I'm praying for them. And I'm probably going to pray for them like for the rest of my life, because everybody that's ever done anything wrong, I pray for them even years later, and if I know their name, I pray specifically for their name, or I pray for them by name and such. I just invite you, and maybe that's best for you to do too, especially if you believe in prayer. Just pray that the Lord be with them and that they'll just come around and such. And that's all you could do. That and introduce 1 Corinthians 15:1-4. So that's just what I want to say. I could feel myself a bit relieved and calmed down, but I'm not sure if I want to be in that part of the neighborhood for a while. Anyway, if you want to stick with me for just a few more moments, I also want to say, this entire walk was actually the worst. I mean, it wasn't just the beginning, and it wasn't just the end. All in between, again, I felt this, this contention. I discerned this like contention or even hatred by, the people around me, the people walking by, the people across the street and looking in my direction. And then my mind, with everything going on, my autistic mind, comes up with the weirdest scenarios sometimes, and I might be right, I might be half right, I might be wrong. I mean, for instance, and this is, something to share with you, this is what our mind does. I'm not saying I'm right. I don't know if I'm right, but I could be sure that I don't know whether or not I'm wrong. But there's a car that parked in the driveway somewhere in the middle of my walk, and I kept on walking down that street, and I didn't see or hear anybody get out of the car, and I kept on walking and just walking straight forward, trying not to pay attention, and still, even though I was a little ways away, I still didn't hear anyone get out of the car. And I'm like wondering, were the people inside that car or the person waiting in the car until I was out of their neighborhood and such? I mean, that's possible. And so several blocks before and several blocks later, I mean, there's been a few people like glancing in my direction, sometimes and oftentimes it's usually for a second, and that's when my mind magnifies. I mean, I'm not sure whether or not they thought something, but me with a history since kindergarten of people either calling me names or just yelling at me or even running away or laughing at me, even to the present day, like 20 years after kindergarten, all in between. And then this happens. I don't think you could blame me or anybody in this situation, any autistic in this situation, for just being a little conscious or aware, like of a possibility of maybe they're thinking this of me or something. And yeah, there's sometimes, like today, I'm sure I'm not wrong, like that young man and the father. Anyway, that's this video. I gotta conclude now. Thank you again for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, I wish I could leave on a happy note, but you could maybe watch another video of mine or another video of somebody else to to get cheer and such. So anyway, thank you for watching and have a great day.